Hello. Hi, it's Wednesday, and I am Nancy Yawner coming to you from the heart of my home, not my kitchen. I am in my car waiting for a home purchaser to come, and we have an appointment here shortly to see a house that just came on the market and is already had offers come in. It just went live today, listed for $420 in Leesburg, and just came in on the market today, and they already received some sight unseen offers. So anyways, I'm Nancy Yawner with Love to List and Keller Williams Realty, and wanted to talk with you today about home sellers. Now, one of the we get all kinds of different questions asked. Oh, hey, Mom. Hi, Deb. We get all kinds of different questions asked of us other than just helping someone sell their home. And the number one question that we get is, our furniture. We'd also like to sell our furniture. And a lot of times it actually comes up after we have the house under contract. And so, but not always. But anyways, I have some do's and don'ts and tips and tricks, what have you, of when you are a seller and you're thinking about wanting to also sell your furniture as well, or you need to. First thing is, I have 5 tips for you. And the first is, please be as specific as possible. Do not be a generalist when it comes to this. Make a list, know what pieces you want to sell, and also put the price. Oh. Is there no video? Sorry, I just got a message. Someone said, bring it on video or something. So hopefully you can see me. Anyhow, do not be a generalist. Put it in paper. Do provide the amount that you want to. Oh, okay, you're good. Thanks. Do provide the amount that you want to sell the piece for. I really, really recommend that. So often people say, well, whatever they want to offer me. And I'm like, you know what? People don't really, they get embarrassed because a lot of times people don't want to pay as much as the seller wants to sell it for. So I would really encourage you to also be realistic with that list and know that, furniture is used furniture. And the market for used furniture is actually the supply is high for that. And so the prices are low. And so you have to be realistic, but be specific, and be realistic. Tip number 2, don't think you can just include it in the sale of your home. We're actually not really allowed to include personal items in a contract when there's financing. Now, if it's a cash deal, that's a little different, but it's just not a good idea to kind of muddy the waters with the sale of the home. If you're going to do that, though, the one time that I do recommend is if you're selling all the furniture in the home. And then what we do is we put it on a separate addendum and a separate bill of sale. And so it's not confused or combined with the actual sales agreement. Okay, so that is tip number 2. So another thing is, please, please, please do it early. Ideally, if you have things that you want to sell, and we need to stage the home and maybe declutter, we can sell them in advance to coming on the market. If we need the furniture while it's being presented for sale, then let's try and get it sold right after we go under contract and the contingencies have been removed. And so please don't wait until the last minute is what I'm suggesting. So try and do it as early as possible. That's tip number 3. Okay, so here's another tip number 4. What a lot of times happens is it's a natural progression. Sometimes you don't even think about these things in advance. But after you go under contract, the conversation is the buyer's like, oh, hey, would the seller be interested in selling a few items? And the seller says, hey, I think I'd be interested in selling a few items. And as a realtor who's very relational and always wanting to help and go the extra mile for my clients, of course, I will try to help coordinate that for everybody. It's really not the realtor's job, and don't expect, if you're working with a different realtor, don't expect the realtor to do it, but sometimes it just happens naturally. And when that happens, I always recommend that we try to keep things as simple as possible and not involve all the agents and all the so what my point is I really try to connect the buyer and the seller together, and so that you guys can kind of work out the details, and I can help facilitate it. But anyway, so sometimes that happens. And the last tip that I want to talk to you about, though, as sellers, is that, if the buyer doesn't want your price for the furniture or whatever, please don't take it personally. They love your home. They're buying your home, and maybe they already have the things to fill the home. So I recommend not to take things too personally. And also, along that lines, if you think you have some things that, forget about selling. Oh, hey, Keith, how you doing? If you have things that you're thinking about selling, and didn't sell, and you think you want to just leave them behind for the buyer, you can always ask. But again, not always the buyer's going to want your personal things, so don't take it personally. But don't just assume and leave things behind for the buyers, because when the buyer comes for the pre-settlement walkthrough, and if there's personal belongings left there, then it potentially could be an issue that we have to deal with at the last minute, because if they don't want those items, we have to figure out a way to get rid of them. And sometimes it can be a little bit more costly to the seller, when they could have maybe disposed it earlier and not have had that added cost. So, oh, and one other thing is I think a lot of times, I just thought of this tip, sellers don't really think about it, but your friends and family can be a great resource for items that you don't want. So you can always ask your friends and family if there's things that you would want to get taken off your hands. So I hope you found those tips helpful. I also wanted to talk to you about, along those lines, that we have a lot of resources. So if you want to try and sell your furniture on consignment, you can do that. If you want to donate some items, we can help you figure out a good place to donate your items, and you can either do pickup or drop off. And then the other thing is that we work with some amazing junk removal companies that, even though your furniture or some of your items, lamps, pictures, vases, things like that, may not be junk, they can come and pick up all of the items. And there's a couple companies that will try to donate them for you. So there is a cost involved in that, but it can save you in the long run, again, because it saves you time and energy, and it's just kind of taken care of for you. So you just never, you're always so surprised, you know, some of these different things that come up during a before and during a sale. And I have seen it all. Actually, I have a situation right now, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you about this, is that I have a vacant home that is professionally staged, because we stage all of our properties. And unless it's a unique situation, which we actually have one coming up next week, and I'll tell you about that on my live next week. But where the buyer wants to buy some of the staging furniture, and I have been working on that today for my sellers and the stager and the other agent and the buyer, trying to coordinate all of that. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you about it today. Anyways, I hope that you are doing well. It is a beautiful afternoon here. It's starting to warm up, and I'm really looking forward to showing this hot property in Leesburg, and my buyer should be here any minute. So it was nice that I could pop on and midweek, like I love to, and share a little real estate, a little health and or home with you. And of course, we always like to support local businesses. I will be, hopefully, unless something comes up, in my kitchen next week, and I'm going to be sharing some yummy food items with you. Okay? All right. I hope you're doing well. And in the meantime, thumbs up, lots of love, and keep smiling. Okay? All right. Take care, everyone.